Today, a lot of people are talking about the so-called U.S. return to Asia. But what really does the U.S. return to Asia mean, and how will it affect Taiwan?
We're calling it a rebalancing. You know, I think the rebalancing is real. I think it actually is something that was supposed to happen 10 years ago, in 2001, when the Bush administration came in. It wanted to do the same thing, and then we all know what happened on September 11th, 2001, and that delayed everything. Now with the U.S. having withdrawn from Iraq, and we are withdrawing from Afghanistan, we have the opportunity to shift forces, military forces, toward Asia, and to generally give Asia greater attention by our leadership in Washington. I think, you know, a lot of attention has been given to sort of the military aspects of the rebalancing and the sort of China aspects. I would say that doesn't capture the whole picture. What it's really all about is a recognition that the Asia-Pacific region is now the most dynamic and most important region in the world. And we did not have our resources, our assets distributed correctly. We were putting too much into Middle East, into Europe, and not enough into Asia. And it doesn't just mean, yes, it means military resources. It means shifting the Navy from being 50-50 Pacific and Atlantic to being 60% Pacific, 40% Atlantic. So yes, it does mean that kind of thing. But it also means things that are less glamorous and people don't see. It means putting more commercial officers in embassies in Asia and less in Europe. It means giving greater attention to the trade and investment opportunities in Asia. It meant setting a deadline and getting done the ratification of the U.S.-Korea trade agreement. It means very seriously getting into negotiations on the TPP agreement, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So it has a whole sort of economic component as well as the military. And then the other thing is it means being more involved in the regional organizations. The U.S. was not part of some of the important regional organizations, and we needed to fix that. So President Obama is now attending the meetings of the East Asia Summit. We joined the East Asia Summit. We sometimes fail to show up at important meetings, APEC or something. So we don't. Lately, we've been showing up, you know. So, and then of course we hosted the APEC meeting, and I think it would be important to note that the U.S. hosting the APEC meeting in Hawaii in November 2011. Remember, the first time that we had been hosted it in 19 years. It was a chance to get the whole U.S. leadership, from the president on down, very focused on Asia and very focused on the rebalancing. And it became the occasion to announce the rebalancing policy. It was linked to the APEC meeting. And but it also was the right timing because of how we were pulling out of Iraq and Afghanistan. So that gives you sort of the whole, kind of paints the picture for you of what that's all about.
Nowadays, China and Japan have some dispute regarding to the
we have noticed that, yes.
So in your opinion, what position should Taiwan take on this issue?
I'm not sure it's our job to tell Taiwan what to do, but I think we have, of course, paid attention to Taiwan's position. Taiwan's top officials, including President Ma, have explained to us very clearly Taiwan's East China Sea initiative. I mean, the real, the serious tension, obviously, is between mainland China and Japan. It's what more to say?
What if?
I don't mean I know that Taiwan wants to resume the fisheries talks with Japan. That does seem like a sensible step, and personally, it seems to me that probably would be helpful to get if those could resume.
Okay, one more question is, do you support that the former Taiwan President Chen Shui-bian should get a chance of medical proof given his poor health condition?
Number one, I'm not sure this is an issue that the U.S. government should have a view on. Number two, I don't personally know what his medical condition is. I have followed the issue. In fact, Jerome Cohen, the famous lawyer who recently visited Taiwan, and he visited President Chun in prison. I had dinner with him last Sunday in Honolulu, and actually I was with him I think 4 days last week, 4 different days at various times. So I spent a lot of time with him. So he told me all about his visit to Taiwan, and he told me about his visit with Chen Shui-bian. I mean, Jerry can tell the world himself what he saw, but I mean, he told me that he found the president to be very alert and very talkative, and seemed as sharp as ever, mentally as sharp as ever. I mean, he does, as far as his physical problems, I don't know. Maybe there are physical problems. I don't know, and he didn't know. I've seen the doctor's reports. I mean, the FAPA people keep me constantly informed of the latest medical visits to Chen Shui-bian. But the question of what should be done, that's for Taiwan to decide.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
No, you're very welcome. Good talking with you.
Good.
I don't know. Did I say too much about anything? No, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know, but Chen Shui-bian is a tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there are a lot of I mean, there's medical. This issue has obviously become a major sort of campaign of the DPP and of FAPA also. I wonder, the fact that it's become a major campaign may actually make it harder for the government to make any decisions on the issue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have touched a lot of good questions. Those are the community concerns.